Welcome to Jamaica, the island of real bad man. Some real dog at you, some real gang bang. No run for the fair, they not garbage pan. Stop up! These are the moments when everybody gun loaded. We not instigate violence, but we believe in the self-defense no matter what. These are the moments when every gangster gun loaded. We not instigate violence. In Jamaica's relentless war and crime, the worst criminals end up on the True Island Stories platform. These are their stories. Welcome to True Island Stories. This is the Mumma versus Mumma. Klansman Mumma versus Waltham Park Don Mumma. Doreen Sonia Brown. Now, this is the finale. Now, if you missed part 1 where I spoke about the Klansman Dan Mumma Christie in comparison, now this segment is the Mumma Doreen story, but her full series in depth is on this channel where garnered whole heap of views, over almost 200,000 views. Now, some of this that I'm giving you is for entertainment purposes. It may be fictional, it may be correct. Some may get it, or some may sell it. You understand me? So, we continue. Now, Doreen Sonia Brown, OC Mumma, was a don in her own right. There are 4 episodes in her series currently on the channel. So you can go check out her devious deeds to fully overs the true nature of the beast of the Waltham Wilds. Now, unlike Mumma Christie from the clans, who mainly gave out orders and help run the Klansman clique, Doreen, she was a different species. She not only gave out orders, she was fully active in the badness. She never left her baby 380, none tall. She was feared all over, and she never took orders from no don. No, never. She was the don who gave out all orders. She was the baby moms of a diabolical don from Boat Island named Gargo. Now, before I continue, this story is gonna get grimy. I will not mince my words as to water down the story. So if it's not for your ears, please jump off right yourself, because it'll go get grimy. You understand me? So if you're a Christian, stop listening. Come in and go water it down. More of them, more of my fans them feel and get a mental picture of what me talk about. Alright. So, as we say, she was the baby moms of a diabolical grim named Gargo who would have run over Boat Island, a Dan. Now, at one point, a pilgrim who himself was a top atheist in his own right. And he was also Mumma's daughter's either baby father or boyfriend at the time. It's in the series, so you can check it for validate. Now, he violated Mumma's daughter, and Mumma heard, and she called and gave strict orders to corral and capture him. But she stated clearly that not one hem of hair on his head or garment should be harmed. And if anyone defied her request, then God take the wheel. I better finish the balance of the game, say I wipe off about clean before we get a dead girl gate. Eh? Good sir. Good sir. Alright. But you get where I'm coming from. She wanted to deal with him personally. And when she arrived on the lokes where he was being held, well, you can all hazard a guess as to what took place. Check out the series for that in details. Mumma was equally feared as well as equally loved by many. She made sure her wolves were fed to capacity so as not to harbor greed and jealousy in her circle of demons. She even spared the lives of pilgrims who were marked for death by her own wolverines. Let's just say Mumma had a good heart, But paralleling that good heart was another heart that was just as cruel and divisive as all get out. It was said she also had corrupted law officials on her payroll, and she would call on them from time to time to carry out her evil instructions. Your will, my hands, Domina. And believe me, when Mumma called, you better pick up. Or else. Now, one of those cops was said to be on her payroll. It was said she was also in an intimate relationship with. His name was Half a Dog. He was stationed at the Unspace police station, to the dislike of many in her consortium, of course. But, oh well, oh hell, the mafia just eat them disapproval. One word of disgruntlement, just one word, uno, would be met with a long and painful death. Yes, Mumma made everyone around her knew who was fucking boss. Mumma was well loved, as I earlier reiterated, because she would take care of the young, the old, and in between in her volatile community. She spread her wealth by throwing regular treats for the kids and the elderly, took care of their medical bills, and parents would go to her for financial assistance to send their kids back to school, cook their dinner, whatever. Mumma would duly oblige. The usual old gary charity tricks and treats. But the same hands she gifted those gifts with was the same hand she used to commit murder. Unlike Mumma Christie, Doreen was a person who all her peeps looked up to. She was never seen as no informant in her circle. When I say informer, I mean like, how Klansman would have style Klansman Mumma Christie. All the one preacher, informer, Some know she not hold no protocol in a black bull. Charlie look like pipe round there, brother. Oh, dog, black dog, if I give me all your word, brother, oh. Me send two pilgrim go freestyle around there and bubble up already, brother. I cheat even know, brother. Long time that witch there for go on, man. But I dared any one of them to even touch a microfiber on her being and see, what? Black men's most prized asset. Yeah, mad. She was worth more to him than most of them in the clique put together, because top flickers in the Klansman clique came a dime a dozen. But Mumma Christie, she came once in a moon blue. But even though Doreen dated a cop and had others on her payroll, none of her grims could even mention that to her name. And instead of ordering or carrying out extrajudicial dirtings, she was the one who kept the community together. A thing she did with an iron fist. Her modus of operandi wasn't just dirt, fling. It was more about being a peacekeeper. But we all know you can't really know the wolf unless you run with the pack. And even the cops who served in her division knew having Mumma on the throne meant their jobs were much easier, because if any grim acted out of pocket, she wouldn't hesitate to shove them out. Either personally, or she would just tell the perp, "Hey, look, you know dog skirt, I want me hear your Valvina." "Valvina, Mumma? How we are talk about? Me don't know what you talk about, mums. Me know them not like me boy, mums. That's why I say a little thing, and my name first get called, Why? I don't know, Look, you know, skirt. Don't go on like you want come piss by my foot and tell me say rain a fall, Eh? A what? A fool you want to take me for? Who is you for come try take me for fool? I try use your little bird brain for me, eh? Hold on. I told my fat you feel like my born big. Oh, a fool you take me for back up on you too. You know me and dash people from 4 years climb bulla them walk that tree, If they be front drink and full of hole like ants nest it. Look here now, boy. Where you go trouble the people, them girl picking it for? Me no chat to you about that something they already. Eh? When me tell you say the last time if me hear say your name call and nobody little picking his skirt, dog skirt. When me tell you say. No, Mama, I lie them and tell Mama boss. Turn the roll and broke me neck on the green tree. Me not gonna know any than it. I lie them and tell Mama. Yes, a God, Mama. Ask me not if I lie me I tell. Now me and Peanut got on go buy 2 million vein. So I'm gonna there around them. I like Peanut. Then I know Peanut. But Peanut stood there silent. He wasn't regurgitating the same sentiments as the accused. Mumma looked up at Peanut with a death-defying stare, telling him telepathically that if he stood with his mans and was found to be lying, he, Peanut, would also share the same consequence as well, in full, or perhaps even worse. So Peanut stilled his tongue and remained in his shell, or speak in risk being cracked and porridged. It was thee for thyself, and God for them all in the moment, because he knew if he backed Dog Skirt, he would be filleted alive, and he loved his chromium just the way it was. No way he was gonna risk his epidermis being leaked for a pum-pum thief. Him alone police sardine tin, and him alone yummy. So, friend or no friend, chargy or no chargy, he was gonna have to take his deadings by himself. And eerie silence engulfed the room as Dog Skirt stared up at Peanut, begging for a cosign, and Mumma looking up at Peanut, waiting for him to break his silence. But he, Peanut, sure wasn't nuts to defy the Waltham Don. Then Mumma broke the silence by going from 0 to 100 real quick. Yo, you know said that blood clot shit house you going like him again. Look at him, man. And before Mumma could finish her violent run, Dog Skirt goes and lift up like body and attempt to flee to safety. Make a mad rush to the door in his bid to escape. But sadly for him, the room was well guarded by some natural born killers who were all waiting eagerly to strike the dirt blow as to indicate to Mumma their loyalty, and with a hope in doing so to potentially ascend their ranks in the assembly of evil. Them grab Dog Skirt, come on, boop, bap, boop, bap, and kick him foot from under him. And Mumma goes off and wheel out a cheese star at chicken and say, hold him nasty blood, bring in cocky come here. And Mumma grip him darkly and said, you see as how you can't control your urges and you're not take no talk, me have to go disarm you, you know. And draw down him zip. Zzz. Dark and brawler, wild skirt and bald over. Oh, beg you, woman, Jesus God. Make you ease up a good man there, Mumma. Make you ease up a good man. We don't need it again. You don't see a beer and choke them and tell Papa, Mumma. But he was saying him not do it again. And then he must say I lie them and tell. Oh, he was in a cognitive dissonance. What was it? Did you do it? Or did you do it not? But he continued crying. Oh, God, Mumma. Peanut. No, Peanut. But Peanut couldn't save these nuts on the day. Mumma hold him and bob it in khaki. With the ratchet, jar the ratchet pan him out back. She didn't do it in one swift motion. She let him feel her wrath. Whoa, God. Lord Jesus, God, cocky. Miss Mumma, please, no, Miss Mumma. Miss Mumma. Mumma removed his manhood from the top of his pelvis as blood squirted everywhere, and she held it up in her hands like a trophy and said, look what you make me do now, Sake a Dese skirt, eh? Yeah, Bubblegum, pass that burger there for me now, my personal please and thanks. Yes, Mumma had a lot of manners. Then she removed the bread and the onions from the burger, saying, Put and John gonna love onion pan them food, you know. What a dog them feisty. We don't know what kind of mongrel dog them there. Yes, Mumma was referring to 2 yard mongrels outside. Mumma cleaved off dog scared hood from a giant. And how ironic, she rubbed it in ketchup on the burger and handed it to a grim named Deadface saying, throw this outside, give dog them for me now, please. I'm not have no use seat. The dogs were eating hot dog. Meanwhile, Deadface looked on hesitantly as if saying, me? Hey, me? Me not touch no man with brother. Deadface and the corner, he not to such request. Him not touch the man wood. Him not touch the man wood. Dead or alive. But he dared not hear his true feelings. He knew he had no choice in the matter but to comply. And then perhaps complain later in his mind. Or suffer the same egregious fate as his venomous counterpart. Deadface takes care of belongings and dash it outside as the 2 mongrels went at each other's throats for the penal morsel, a rare delicacy they look forward to share again in the near and not so distant future. Then Mumma said, look you know Deaders, call Blue Jaws out of front there for me. I make him bring the little one down a public there quick and fast. Mumma ordered the eunuch to be rushed to the hospital while saying to Skirt, yeah, alright? I hope you no mad with me, you know. You're good, though. All Skirt could do was just nod his head in agreement as he exited the building stage left. But trust me, my peeps, Mumma Doreen badness and Mumma Christie badness was on 2 different levels. Christie took orders, but Doreen, she gave orders. Doreen was way more militant than Christie. Doreen was way more loved and respected and feared than Christie. She was also a top killer for Christie. Check the stories if you want to find out what I mean. Doreen badness was top tier badness in comparisons to Mumma Christie. But unlike Mumma Christie, who will perhaps get a chance to listen to this story, sadly, Mumma Doreen won't, because she met a violent demise, which is depicted in the series on the True Island Stories channel. An epic series, I promise you won't be disappointed. Mumma is revered and remembered as a legend in both Waltham and Maxfield and the other communities. She is survived by several kids who, thinking more to say them do the right thing in their life from what I heard and not following in their mom's footsteps. R.I.P. Mumma Doreen, the biggest and the baddest female done to ever do it. Then and after. As for Mumma Christie, she may not appreciate it, but the same God who she blasphemed against is the same God who chose to give her a second shot at life. So I hope wherever she is, she can now reflect on the error of her ways and truly repent, because we all know that God chose his servants from the darkest places who do the darkest deeds. And remember, your family can visit you and hold a convo now and again. While, in retrospect, Doreen's family can also visit her, but only to reflect on memories together and change the floral arrangements on her grave. The Guru has spoken! We have come to the end of the Mumma versus Mumma. Mumma Doreen versus Mumma Christie. Clans versus Waltham Dan. I hope you enjoyed. Like, share, leave a comment. Volume 3 of Blacks are come up soon. The East Side Badness. Alright. Make sure like, share, subscribe. Check out Darker Side of Paradise audiobook. Online written and narrated by Guru. Enough of the book, man. Threesome, Betrayal, Purple Vagina. All of them things there. But those are for adults. And we have adult content on the Patreon. Only for adult ears. Real, true story. Alright? Walk good, stay out of trouble. But if you choose to pick up the gun or the knife, then there's a chance you might end up in True Island Stories. What? Well, you choose I am Joy.
Pepper, you know the real J-thing, huh? How we go? Sometime the road tough, side slow. Real patriots never buck, never fall. How they get to run? That's why. Back from the boy who not do that. Boy, who no can't kill with joy, who no boy. Who from your soul don't know a wrong boy. Yo, and a man bust a shot him off a pack up and boat. Pointed on him head back and boast. Pop off him strap on him friend him for door. None of that, No assumption, I saw the ground rough, yeah. Power, married to corruption. Criminal, bred from limited options. 10 generation, I see the said someone wanted man will live long. Name one. Things forever bury with not done. Name one. One good honest politician. Name one. And get a youth resilient. Back from the boy who no do that. Who no can't tell with joy. Who from your soul don't know what wrong boy. Yo, a man better boy. And a man bust a shot him off a back up and go. Pointed on him head back and go. Pop off him strap on him friend them for do. None of that, you a man better. Things risky, for the misfit. Death rate fit the logistic. Chris, I want the biscuit. Bait of crackers with the whiskey. You're not listening. Crime live here, so it's not visiting. Visitors, careful, you know what the business is. Murder, plunder, pillaging. Bloodshed in all the villages. You name it, you will live in it. Get rich, I do special delivery. Nightmare, tormented images. Vengeance, bloody cycle continuing. But know you seek that, but it's no revenge. Looking at the mirror, there is no different. Man, we full of, hey, and we know we friends back from the boy, who no do that. Who no can't tell we jar, who no boy. Who from your so we don't know what wrong boy. Yup, now a man better. Any man bust no shot him off a back up and go. Pointed on him head back and go. Pop off him strap on him friend him for do. None of that, now a man better. No assumption, I saw the ground run. Power, married to corruption. Criminal, bred from limited options. 10 generation, passing the said someone wanted man will live long. Name one, brings a fella with no name one. One honest politician, name one who. And get a youth resilient. Back from the boy who no do that. Can't kill with jaw on the back. Who from your soul don't know what wrong boy. Yo, a man better boy. Any man bust a shot him off a back up and go. Pointed on him head back and go. Pop off him strap on him friend him do. None of that, none of that. Yo, you know the thing going on, Sotto seat up a beat, you know. Hey man, take your time man. Boy, man. Man to them pepper.